Hi, guys. Thank you for tuning into Spiritual Beauty Ministry. Today's word, as you see, is before you deny it, ask God, what are you doing behind it? So I don't know if you ever found yourself in a room that was intimidating. It made even you being in the room made you feel small, or you know what, maybe this is not the room I'm supposed to be in because this is not what I expected, nor is it what I imagined. And so I'm in the book of Exodus, and Moses' mother, she pretty much had to, she was hiding her baby for some time. And then the Pharaoh was going through saying he's going to kill every, firstborn son. And so it came a time to where, okay, that which you are hiding is time to come out now. And so she finally releases that which she has been hiding, which was her baby boy. And then when she releases him, he comes into the arms of the Pharaoh's daughter because she puts him inside of a little basket. And he comes into the arms of Pharaoh's daughter. And then so now, of course, the baby needs feeding, and so the mother, her way of entering into the palace, the Pharaoh, was that the person was in need of someone to feed the baby. And so when the mother entered in, the Pharaoh's daughter did not know, of course, that the person that was entering in to feed the baby was the actual baby's mother. And so what I want to say is, and so I can imagine being Pharaoh's mother and being in a room with your baby that you can't say is your baby because, at the end of the day, your life can be at stake and all those other things. And so you go into the room and you have to put yourself in hiding. You have to put yourself in hiding, and you have to serve at a position that is below you when this is, it seems as though, I don't understand how could this be at the end of the day. When I have come into this room and I am that child, I'm this child's mother, but I can't let them know that I'm the child's mother. I have to lower the position just so I can serve the purpose. There are going to be positions and rooms that God places you in, and he's going to have you to have to lower. It's going to feel, you're going to feel as though like you're being less or you having to settle for something, but that's not the case. God is putting you in the room because when God when God is calling you to go and serve a purpose, you are not going to come in like, for instance, like Joseph, he didn't come in straight into with the crown on his head. He had to come in first as a slave. And so at the end of the day, God is going to enter you into the room, but you're not going to look like what you are called to become right away. And so, like I was saying, it will make me feel some type of way if I was brought into a room and I'm having to deny myself of something that I know I possess, but they saying it's not time yet. So they're gonna be going to their room and go like, you know what, I'm ready to release. I'm a singer. I do this, I do that. I got all these gifts. I mean, you're ready to release it, but God is saying it's not time yet. It's not time yet. So you find yourself in a room that holds the opportunity, but you can't release what you have yet. And so it makes you feel as though, am I in the wrong room? Did I miss the mark on something? Because I possess this great talent. I possess this, I possess that, but I am not able to release it yet. And so at the end of the day, what came as I was reading the book of Exodus, what came to me is that where is it? When you enter into that room, like I said, you will not look like who you are called to become. So even though okay, like Pharaoh's, not Pharaoh's, but Moses' mother, she knew, okay, I am the mother of this child, but in the day I entered into this room, but I can't even be the mother of that child right now because basically my child's not even supposed to be alive. I told you the Pharaoh was going around killing all the kids, the firstborn sons, but she protected her baby. And so in order protecting her baby, she had to also hide her baby. And when it was time to release her baby, was pretty much brought into the arms of the Pharaoh's daughter. But what I'm saying is that, so in the day when she was able to finally get access into the room, and then I'm able to get access into the room of my baby, but I can't even let it be known who I am. I'm in the room of what I want, but I can't release who I am or what I have right now. I haven't even been given that opportunity. So I'm just in the room, and it's going to feel like you are just in the room, but you are not just in the room. There is a time and a season of what God has placed in you to be released from you. And so when you go into that room, don't deny it because it's not giving you what you want it to give you right away. Like I was talking to a friend and they had got a, a job position. And so they went in the position as one thing. And it's like, okay, you know what? I was going to the position because I thought that I was going to be able to go into the position as this right here. But when I entered into the position, I found myself being at a lower level place, a lower level position. But when I was told that I'll be making this much money and I'll come in at this position. But when I get there, I find myself in a room at a lower position than I imagined. And so at the end of the day, don't pretty much deny the room, because the room that you are in, that room can be a job position, that room can be a relationship, that room, whatever that room may be that God has you in your season, that room is tied to the room. That room is tied to the room. So maybe you're just saying like, okay, well, I'm trying to, I want to get myself more out, as far as, people knowing who I am, my music and also things like that. Or, maybe you're a person that's good with sports. You're trying to just get yourself out there. And it's just like, I found myself in the rooms of, many times I have found myself in the room. But at the end of the day, I'm not seeing myself being able to, give out what I have. Like, why hasn't that opportunity came to me? I mean, I'm sitting in it. But in the midst of being in the room, I'm having to hold back what I want to release to the room. And so, like I was stating, there are plenty of rooms that I have found myself in. I'm like, oh yeah, this is the perfect opportunity for me to, release this or tell them about this idea, or do this right here. And then I find myself and I'm just like, okay, God was like, it's not time. And instead of me, and it's like, I'm not able to, pretty much release what I have. And so I find myself, doing other things. I'm like, okay, I came to this room because of this one reason, but then I find myself doing other things besides what I was coming to the room to do. Like, at the end of the day, so it's like Moses, when I came to God, at the end of the day, I've come to this room because in there I am this child's mother. But then you're telling me I have to hide being his mother, because at the end of the day, you are doing something behind the scenes through my son. And so like I said, as a mother, I can imagine what she was going through, having to, I finally found my purpose. I finally, gave birth to my purpose, and I finally am able to operate in my purpose. But now I can't release my purpose and my gifts and my talents and whatever else I have inside of me the way I want to, because you tell me it's not time. And so that'll make any person want to close themselves up and be like, so you know what, I'm done, I give up. But like I said, before you deny it, ask God, what are you doing behind it? So you have to understand, the Israelites have been praying to God for him to, God, we need for you to release our people, bring freedom to our people. We have been in bondage too long. But when we send prayers to God, our prayers will never match up to the rooms that he enters us into. Like, God, I pray for you to do this. Why'd you enter me through this room? God, I pray for you to do that. Why'd you enter me into this room? Because at the end of that's why I said, don't deny it. Before you deny it, ask God what he's doing behind it. Because the room that you are in, that you find yourself denying, is the room before the room. And so at the end of the day, like I said, the Israelites are praying to God for them to, God, I need for you to, release your people, release us from this bondage, release us from the hands of Pharaoh. But who would have known that in doing that, God was going to use Moses? See, God was going to use Moses to be the very thing that releases the people from bondage. But they did not enter into the room as they imagined. So yes, they were still at a waiting place. Even in that, you're going to be in a waiting place. Yes, they were still in a waiting place. But at the end of the day, God was using Moses to enter them into their freedom. And so even in it, that's why Moses' mother, that's why there are things that you're saying, okay, God, you shown me the gifts that I had. Moses' mother you shown me that this is my baby. You shown me I have given birth to this baby. And now I can't even, I have to hide who I am to this baby. I have to hide myself behind, but I have to hide myself in the room. Have you ever been in the room but not be in the room? It's like I'm in the room, but I'm not in the room. And so it's like, in a day, but it's like that was a purpose, because at the end of the day, God was using Moses. So we had to grow him up in the kingdom of the Pharaohs and his people. And all of that was all aligning to what he was going to release. So that's why we can't deny the rooms that God enters us into that seems insignificant. That seems like, okay, this room, this don't seem like it's going to pop off, versus if I go to this room. So in the day we find ourselves denying, because I don't see how it all this room relates to my weight. Because there are weights that you are in right now, like I did on my other video when I talked about the weight. And it's like in the weight, yes, God is going to walk you through rooms. And in those rooms, sometimes you may find yourself denying the room, because it's like this room is not at all tied to my weight. How does the weight in this room tie together? But then just like Moses, how does, me denying who I am to this child and then been put in the room to feed him so that, he can still be, that which is in him can still grow, but I still can't release who I am. I'm in the room, but I still can't release who I am. I'm in the room, but I still can't release who I am. And it's like at the end of the day, God has you. And I see there are things to where when God hides you and when we hide ourselves. See, when God hides you, it is tied to his protection. It is tied to the growth. It is tied to the deliverance. It is tied to the purpose that he is orchestrating. And he's aligning it all together. But at the same time, he has to hide you. Just like when Moses was hidden for, like, let's say 3 months, he was hidden for some time before his mother was able to release him into the river. And then when she released him, all of a sudden, the Pharaoh's daughter was right there in the same river, able to see this basket flowing through. And it's like everything was at a timing. Everything was in the alignment that God had to have be before it can become. See, God has to have it had to go through a process before it can become what you are wanting. So we could be wanting something like, I want this right now, but God is taking it through the process. Like Moses' mother, I'm sure she's like, I want my baby right now. I want my baby. But it's like at the end of the day, I am taking your baby through a process. And your baby is tied not only to the purpose, but to the promise of everything that's tied to y'all. So I know that you are wanting your baby, but your baby is tied to a process that is tied to my purpose, that is tied to release your promise. And so that's why we can't deny the rooms that we enter in, because at the end of the day, the rooms hold a process. The rooms hold the process. The rooms are, like I said, when you enter into the room, you are not going to look like what you are called to become. You may say, okay, I'm a singer. I'm a producer. I'm a director. I'm a rapper. This is what I am. But when you enter into that room, you may enter into that room as a servant. You may enter into that room as an assistant. You may enter into that room as something that's lower than the position that this is who I am. But why am I entering into a room that's making me feel this is where I am? This is who I am. But when I enter into the room, this is where I am. There's a process. Moses' mother was the mother of that baby, but when she entered into the room, she was a servant. I am the mother of this child, but when I enter into the room, I have to deny who I am. I can't even release who I am, and I come in as a servant. So we have to be very careful, because when you enter into those rooms, there will be the you that you want to release will be silenced. Like I said, you will feel intimidated. You will feel as though you made the wrong choice by coming to this room. You feel like, was it even worth me coming into this room? Because at the end of the day, this room is not giving me what I want. This room is not releasing to me what I want. But at the end of the day, there is a process that is tied to the purpose in order for God to release his promise. And so another thing too that came to me was that before you deny the room that does not look like the room, know that you are in the room. Before you deny the room that does not look like the room, know that you are in the room, and don't conform to the room God has placed you in to transform. Because even though Moses' mother was put in a position as a servant, but it did not take away her position as being his mother. See, I even saw it in the sense of Moses' mother, she was still in the room. It was just not in the way she wanted to be, but God still allowed the Pharaoh's daughter to have a seat. When God puts you in a room, he's going to still create a need in somebody that's going to need what you have. That's why you have to be very careful not to deny the room, because there is going to come a need in that room that you see that's minor, that you see that's insignificant. And then only you can supply that need. Only you can feed that need. Just like Moses' mother, she was put into the room. But in the midst of being in that room, God had still given her access to feed her purpose. See, even when you're in that room, you're gonna feel like, God, how am I gonna be able to promote my record or promote my song if I'm in this small room? How am I gonna be able to have this happen if I'm in this small room? How am I gonna be able to release and receive this if I'm in this small room? But like I said, God is gonna still create a need even in that small room that you see as insignificant. Because Moses' mother, even though she was in the room and she may have saw the room as being insignificant, like, I'm in the room of my purpose, but I'm not able to release it like I want to. I'm in the room of my purpose, but I'm not able to release it like I want to. But at the end of the day, she was still in the room, and she was still able to feed her purpose, even in the room that she saw that was insignificant. She was able to still feed her baby. God allowed the Pharaoh's daughter to have a need. I need somebody to feed this baby, because the Pharaoh's daughter can feed the baby because she didn't give birth to the baby and she didn't have the milk that the baby needed, or whatever, how I see it. And so who else to do it? God creates an opportunity, even in the small room. God creates a need, even in the small room. And so that's why you have to be very careful not to deny it. It's because she was put into the room, in that same room that she felt as though, like, I'm not able to release what's mine. I'm not able to feed what's mine. And then all of a sudden, God creates an opportunity to where she's able to come into the room. But when she came into the room, it was not in this position. She came to the room as this position, but she was still able to feed her purpose. So you're going to come into rooms, like I said, she was still able to feed Moses. She was still able to feed him until he was able to be, to not need, the milk, of course. But she was able to feed him for a time period as he was a child, as he was a baby. And even though it seemed as though it would look as though like, but then, she's in the room, but she's not even able to, receive this yet, or, or receive that, or release this or release that. But she was in the room. So when you are in that room, whatever that room may be, whatever opportunity it may be, don't dismiss it because you feel like nothing can be released from it. Don't dismiss it because you feel like nothing can be released from it. Because at the end of the day, for God to put you in the room, he knew that I'm going to still use that room, and I'm going to still create a need so that you can still be able to feed my purpose. I'm going to still create a need so that you may still be able to feed my purpose. God's not going to just put you into rooms where, to where the thing that he put in you is not going to be fed. It's just not going to be fed in the way that you want. It's not going to be fed in the way that you imagine. But at the end of the day, the purpose that you are called to carry, that gift, that passion, whatever it is, you are still going to be able to feed it, even in the rooms that look insignificant, even in the rooms that make you feel small, even in the rooms that says that, at the end of the day, this, it seems as though the odds are against you. It's not going to happen for you. But at the end of the day, God is using every room to still allow you to feed what's in you. So he's not putting you, just like, at the end of the day, he's not putting you in the room just to say, okay, I forgot about you. Because it would seem as though, like, God, did you forget about Moses' mother? I mean, she was his mother, so why would you have her to give her baby away? And then she has to hide who she is when she finally enters into the room with the purpose. She's having to hide who she is. I don't understand that, God. Why is she having to hide who she is? Because at the end of the day, there are things that we are feeling as though it's time for me to release it. I'm ready. But God is still, he still has you, and he still has you in hiding. And then when God releases you from his hiding, it's gonna make you still feel as though, like, okay, God, I'm still not being known. Like, I still haven't been able to talk about my voice of singing. I'm still haven't been able to talk about my talent. I still haven't been able to talk about my gift. I still haven't been able to talk about this. And it's like, I haven't been able to release this. I haven't been able to receive this. But at the end of the day, it's going to come in spurts. It's not going to come all at one time. It's going to come in spurts of how God reveals you. Matter of fact, of how God gave it to me was, like I said, when you enter in, you will not look like what you are called to become, because it is not time. God is just revealing enough of you just to enter you into the room. God is only just revealing enough of you just to enter you into the room. So you know, as long as you know that you are that singer, as long as you know that you are that doctor, as long as you know that you are whatever that thing is in your life that you know, this is who I am. This is my passion. This is my calling. This is me. This is me. The things that are you that are of God. Let me make that clear, because there are things that we could be claiming that's us, and God said, but my hand's not on that. That's not who I called you to be. So let me make that very clear. But the things that He has called you to, and you like, I know this is what I'm called to do. But why when I enter into the room, I'm not able to release it yet? Why when I enter into the room, I'm not able to release it yet? And so another thing that came to me was that God has to hide you in the room so that He can make room. God has to hide you in the room so that He can make room. It's just like with David. David was a shepherd. It's like, okay, at the end of the day, all he had was a slingshot. God, how can I enter a room of taking down a Goliath when all I have is just this? And it's like, God, I know I'm strong. I know I can do this, but how am I going to enter into the room? And so God had to use what David had. And like I said, you're going to look at, okay, well, I have this, but even in me having, the people that's in the room, they're still denying my qualities. They're still making it seem as though, okay, you don't deserve to be in this room. But in the day, you have to not be afraid to still use what you have. When God says it's time to now release it in the room, like I said, that seems insignificant. That seems like it's too, like the room makes you feel small, and it seems as though, you know what, I'm not worthy to be in this room. But yet then you are not called to conform to that room. You are called to transform what's in that room. And so that's why when you are placed in it, you have to know that God is doing something through it. When you are placed in it, you have to know that God is doing something through it. So before you deny it, God, what are you doing behind it? And especially when you are in a wait, like the video I did before, and it's called The Wait. When you are in a wait, it's easy to just give up and say, you know what, I'm done. But you have to know that, and especially when you're in a wait and it just feels as though, you know what, I'm too broken, I'm too angry, I'm too, whatever it may be that you're battling with, to be in this room right now. I don't think I can be into this room right now. I don't know, how I can enter into this room when everything that's going, seems to be against me right now. So at the end of the day, God, how am I able to, become who you are calling me to be when I'm in this room that seems beneath me? God, how am I able to become who you are calling me to be when I am in a room that seems beneath me? But like I said, don't deny it. Ask God what he's doing behind it, because there are times that God uses the rooms just to give us access in. And so you may be at a place in your life to where it's like, where you are is not where you're going to stay. God is using where you are to enter you into the room. That's why you have to know that. So yeah, you may enter in as an assistant. You may enter in as, being the servant. Or maybe, you may enter in as a sales rep instead of the account manager. You may enter in as those things beforehand, at that moment. But God is only taking you through the process of what you are called to become. So you can't try to, deny the room because the room is not giving you what you want right away, because what is for you is still in that room. You just have to say, God, who are you calling me to in that room? God, what are you calling me to serve in that room? God, what are you calling me to release in that room? It's all tied to something. So that's what I would say, guys, is that don't deny the room. That does not look like the room. Know that you are in the room. It's just not going to give you what you thought you were going to receive when you enter in. And when you enter in, he's going to only reveal enough of you just so they can receive that. So just so who is in the room can receive you in the room. So it's like if Moses was to be found out who he was, the reason why God had brought him into the home of Pharaoh's daughter, then at the end of the day, they were like, you know what, I'm not taking that baby in this house. He's going to try to come in and destroy Egypt. Oh no. No, God had to reveal just enough of him just to enter into the room. So that's why God is, you wonder why, God, why have I not been able to release everything that I have? Because God is only revealing just enough of you just to enter you into the room. So don't, like I said, don't deny the room. He's just revealing enough of you to enter into the room. So if you have to go in as that assistant before God walks you into that CEO, trust the process. If you have to go into being the background singer before God promotes you to that solo artist, then trust the process. If you have to go in this position before God rises you to that position, trust the process, because God is not finna give it. It has to all align to his purpose. It has to all align to what he is doing. If God had revealed who Moses was before his timing, it couldn't, the Israelites could not have been freed the way they were going to be set free through the hands of Moses that God was using. So at the end of the day, God is only revealing enough of you in the room. It may seem small to you. It may seem as though, God, I got way more to release than what you're letting me release. God, I can do, I can bring so much of this. I can do so much of that. God, I got so much just inside of me. But God is saying it's not time yet. It's not time yet. And when he releases you in the room, like I said, he's going to release just enough of you just to get you into the room. He's like, just like with Moses, God released just enough of Moses just to enter him into the Pharaoh's kingdom. See, there are enemies and giants that God is calling you to knock down. And so at the end of the day, but just like God is a God of order as well, but God is also not going to reveal always what his left hand is doing to his right hand. And so in a day, I'm going to have to enter you in the room. And when you enter into that room, you're going to look as though you are either you're in a room that makes you feel less than, you're in a room that makes you feel as though like, okay, when my time is going to happen. But God is using it all because there is an enemy that he has called you to go against. There is change in order that he has called you to go and bring. There's an industry that at the end of the day, he is calling you to go and, deliver. And so in order for him to do that, he has to enter you in a different way. And if God has to enter you in a different way, just to feed and serve his purpose, like Moses' mother, she had to enter in a different way. She couldn't enter in as his mother. She had to enter in as a slave and a servant, but she was still able to feed her purpose. So when God enters into those rooms, you're going to still be able to feed your purpose in those rooms, but you are not going to look like who you are called to become right away. God, I'm a singer. Why am I'm a solo singer? I'm good at what I'm an artist. I can do it by myself, but why am I entering in as a background singer? Why am I, God, I'm good at short film. I'm good at this. I'm good at that. But why am I entering in behind the scenes? Why am I entering in? Why am I not on the front stage right now? God is taking you behind the scenes of that room. Behind the scenes of that room. Because there are things that he is using in you to break and to free what they need. There are things that he is using in you to break and free what they need. And so if I have to enter you in to look like you are a prisoner when you're not a prisoner, just like Paul and was that Peter and Silas, they entered in and it looked as though like I'm a prisoner. But no, God, like, no, you're not a prisoner. You're just empty. I'm putting you behind the scenes because there are people that needs what you have. And in order for me to enter you into freeing them, I had to bring you in at a low place. I had to enter you in at a low place because at the end of the day, like I said, when he brings you to what's finally for you, everything that started at this low valley place, you're going to see all of it was meant to rise me to my mountain. All of it's like I said, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no mountains high enough. And it's like it was all used. It was all used to bring you to that place. And so, like I said, you cannot deny the small room. You cannot, I'm not going to be an assistant. I am CEO type status. I'm not a background singer. I deserve the front stage. No, I am not, I am not, this area, this environment, this is not me. I am, from a suburb type status. I'm not, the ghetto is not me, and it's like, and it's like you're despising and diminishing the small things, because the small things don't look like they're going to catapult you to the big thing. But see, even in God's word, he says, don't despise small beginnings, because it's the small things that's going to catapult you to the big things. Just like Moses entering in, it seemed as though it was small, but God was in the works of doing something. Moses' mother seemed as though it was a small position, but God was in the works of doing something. Because even in a small position, I was still allowing you to feed your purpose. Even in a small position, I was still making room. Even in a small position, I was still touching hearts, because what you saw, that you saw yourself as being behind the scenes, but I saw what I was doing behind the scenes that was gonna put you in the front scene. But right now, I need you to work. Well, I need you to not go against what I am working behind the scenes, because when it's time for me to finally release you, you're going to know that it was my hands that was leading you. And you're going to see that's why I was not able to go in right away as this, because at the end of the day, God was using me to go be this to that person, or to go and, do this inside the industry. And it's like I had to do this, and in order for me to get in it, I just need enough of you just to enter you into the room. I just need enough of you just to enter you into the rooms. And that's all it is. God just needs enough of you just entering him to the room. But in order to use just enough of you, you have to not close yourself. You have to not limit yourself. So God, I will only go into rooms that look like this. God, I will only do it if it looks like this. You have to say, hey, God, even when it don't look like this, God, I will still go into that environment. I will still go into that room. Even though, God, what I'm wanting has not been released to me, Lord God, I will still go into those rooms, because in the day, I am not conformed to those rooms. I am called to transform what is in those rooms. And so when I go in, I have to go in with the mindset of knowing that I am still that singer. I am still that doctor. I am still, that poet. I am still that producer. I am still that director. So just because the room makes me seem small, but to know that my God is behind the scenes doing something big. So you have to know that you are in that room for a reason, and don't deny it because it seems to make you seem small, or it seems to be small, or it seems insignificant. God is using the room to enter you into the room as a process. There's a process to his purpose in order for him to release his promise. And so we have to just know that at the end of the day, God, there's a reason why you put me in this room. And help me to, before I try to deny the room, Lord God, help me to get understanding why I am in this room. Help me to see who you have called me to in this room. And so that's why I was stating that you have to know that when you arrive, you are not going to look like, you're not going to look like that doctor right away. You're not going to look like that singer right away. You're not going to look like that director right away. You're not going to look like that producer right away. But it does not mean that you are not those things. You are just entering in a different way. You are just entering in a different way, because before God calls you to it, there is something that God is wanting you to do. I need you to touch this level right here before I bring you to this level. I need you to touch the people that's on this level first. And then then it's like it's going to continue to keep on going, and you're going to continue to find yourself going up and up and up. But right now, I'm not saying that you're not that doctor. I'm not saying that you're not that producer. I'm not saying that you are not that, that you won't be that mother. I am not saying that. I just need you to be okay when I enter you into this room, even when it seems like it's not going your way. Be okay at the level that I enter you in. Be okay at the level that God enters you in. Because God, I know that I may not look, I know that I am that doctor, even though I may enter in as this, but I know at the end of the day I am that doctor. And so we have to still keep our minds. So I said you can't conform to the rooms. God is only using you to do what he needs to do. That's it. And so when you are there, you are only being used to what he is calling to align. You are being used to call, because you would not have had access into their room if it was not for the level that God entered you into. You will not be able to have access to that room if it was not for the level that God has entered you into. And you never know when you enter into that room, you never know who knows who or what, or who God puts into a position in that room that you see is so small. And they be like, oh, you do this? Oh, you do that? Okay, well, I know somebody, I know so-and-so, and bam, you like, well, I never knew that I was going to enter into this room this way. Because God said we don't know his plans. We can make our plans all day long, but we don't know his plans. But there are going to be people, like even with Pharaoh, when Pharaoh's daughter finally takes in Moses, there are going to be people that God puts in position when he releases you from their hiding place. And when he releases you from that hiding place, you're still, not all of you is still going to be revealed. It's only going to be bits and pieces of you that God's going to be revealed. But God has set in position somebody that is still going to be able to receive you, even at the place that God has you. God is going to set in position somebody that is going to still be able to receive you, even at the level of that place that God has you. So I know it looks inadequate. I know it looks insignificant. I know it looks like it's never going to happen. I know it looks small, but trust me, there is somebody big that's behind that small position. There is somebody big that's behind that small level that you see that you find yourself denying. There is something big, there is somebody big, and there is a thing that God is doing that we can't even see. So we can't, like I said, once again, we can't deny it. What we have to do is say, God, what are you doing behind it? I know it doesn't look like the typical way to enter in, but there has to be something that you are doing to why you're wanting me to enter in this way. Why you want me to enter in this way? Anybody else may enter in through A, B, C, D, but God may have you to enter in E, F, G, H, A, B, C. So your order may be opposite of the order of somebody else, but in the day, there is a reason why he has called you to enter in the way he has called you to enter in, because there are souls tied to you. There is purpose tied to you. There are industries that is tied to you. There are positions that are tied to you. There are things that are tied to you that God has put in you. And the things that are tied to those rooms that seem small, they need you. Those small rooms need you. And so if I had to use this situation, had to use this circumstance just to enter you into the room, then I would do what I have to do, because at the end of the day, there are people, things, and places that need you. And so, yes, I will use the small rooms. Yes, I will put you in the room, but I will still make you seem insignificant while you're in there. I'll make you feel as though, like you're questioning your worth in it, but in there, because it's not about you right now. It's not about talking to that person about, oh, hey, do you know I do this, I do that? No, this room is about somebody else. This room is about something else that I'm calling you to go into. Yes, sure enough, I'm going to use that room to still bring out that thing that you are still wanting. But if in the day, this room is not for that right now. It's not for that right now. So, yeah, so I'm not going to let that, that thing happen right away. Because there's something else that I'm needing you to do while you're in that room before I bring you into that room. So, yeah, that's what I was saying. So, okay, yes, God, I'm this singer, but in that, why am I going as a background singer? Maybe somebody that God wants you to go and serve, or maybe that's something that God is wanting you to go and do or release. There's something that God is doing behind the scenes. And so before I release you as that solo artist that you are, I'm going to put you as a background singer. Before I release you as that choreographer that you are, I'm gonna put you in the background. Before I release you as that doctor, I'm gonna put you in the background. Before I release you as that producer, I'm gonna put you in the background. Before I release you as that director, I'm gonna put you in the background, because there is something that's in the small rooms that you carry that they need. And so, even though it seems insignificant, even though it seems like nothing can come from this room is tied to that room. So that room may be relationship, it may be a marriage, it may be whatever that God has put the desire in your heart to want. That desire is tied to the room that looks like nothing. That it's gonna all come from that room. It's gonna all come from that place, and it's gonna come from that place that looks like nothing. It's gonna come from that place that looks like nothing. And that is how you're going to enter into the room. So you cannot deny it. Instead, you have to say, God, what are you doing behind it? All right, guys. So let me make sure that I gave everything that I needed to give. Yeah. And so, yeah, like I said, you will be hidden. And so God will hide you in the room just to make room. God will hide you in the room just to make room. Like Moses' mother, she was hidden in the room. It's like, okay, God, I got this gift. I got all this. Why am I still being behind the scenes? Why am I not able to showcase my stuff right away? Because I am doing something at this level. So you cannot deny, because this level is going to take you to the next level. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in to Spiritual Beauty Ministry. And I just pray that God reveals to you, what room have you been denying? Because you see as though, I don't think this room can give me that which I am wanting. I don't see this room as being significant. I don't see this room as being what I am in need of. And so God, what room have I been denying because of how it looks? But instead say, God, what are you doing behind the room that I am in? All right, guys, thank you for tuning in once again at Spiritual Beauty Ministries. Let God reveal to you what that is. And just know that at the end of the day, when you enter in, you will not look like what you are called to become right away. God is only going to reveal enough of you just to put you into the room and for them to receive you. He's not finna, because in the day, you're undercover. Like, think about you're undercover. And so God is sending you undercover to uncover what is not covered. And so those who usually will go into the thing and they will be devoured by it, God is saying you are going to enter in and you are going to bring deliverance. See, those who usually enter into this thing, they're usually devoured by it. But when you enter in, you are going to bring deliverance. So don't deny the room. Know that the room is tied to the room. And so that's why I wanted to let you guys know that God is sending you on. So when you see that room has been insignificant, you see that room has been, oh, it's too small. I don't see how my career can take off in this small room. I don't see how this can take me to the next level. God has you undercover. Just like Moses' mother, he had her undercover. He had her undercover because she was undercover to go and uncover what was not covered. And so at the end of the day, he had to use her purpose that she carried and gave birth to make that happen. God is going to use God is going to use the purpose that's in you to make what he needs from you happen. And so, yes, he's going to use it in small rooms. He's going to use it in big rooms, but you cannot deny the room, because he is still going to use it all to take you to the next level. All right, you guys be blessed. Thank you for tuning in. And remember, as always, God is before all things, and in him, all things hold together, even when it seems as though it's falling apart. All right, peace.